we're going to announce the latest step in our effort to support some very deserving folks. I'm talking about brave men and women who've donned the uniform of our country. They've left behind the comforts of home and defend our freedom in foreign lands all too often. And you know, our veterans have willingly risked great personal harm to secure the rights and the freedoms that we enjoy every day in this country. In doing so, they've also made the world a safer and a more secure place to live. In return, I think I can speak for all of them and say that they appreciate our thanks, but they also deserve our respect and our support as they and their families endure the rigors of military life and then that transition back into civilian life. And when returning veterans carry a visible wound, and in a lot of cases some wounds that are deeper that are not as visible, they deserve an extra measure of assistance from those that they risk all to protect. One of these measures is the Fund for Veterans Assistance. It was created by the legislature to give everyday Texans a way to support veterans and their families who are in need, improve veterans assistance programs across the state. And I'm here today to award the first ever grant under the fund to an organization that has gone the extra mile every day, and that's the Texas Veterans of Foreign Wars. Members of the VFW have a unique insight into the challenges of that our veterans face every day. Most of you have faced them yourself at some point in time in your life, and you've endured those challenges together. All across the state, the VFW meets veterans where they live, works to improve their lives, to sustain the esprit de corps that we all enjoyed in our days in the military together. And the VFW will use this grant to provide emergency financial support for veterans in crisis and active duty members as well. Whether they're having trouble making a house payment, struggling to pay the mechanic to repair the car, scrambling to buy diapers or school supplies for their children. These grants can help these veterans through some pretty tough times. Texans should be proud of the VFW for what it has done and what it will do in the future as our veterans live out their lives in our state's grand tradition of neighbor helping neighbor. The Fund for Veteran Assistance is the latest in a long series of initiatives that we've taken in support of our fighting men and women. Last year I had the privilege of signing a bill requiring the creation of the mental health programs. And General, you were with me when we announced that. It includes veterans, helping veterans through the Vet-to-Vet group. I also worked with the legislature and our health care agencies to secure an additional $5 million for mental health assistance. And that was on top of a $1.2 million and that our state legislature, and I know Chris Turner's going to speak with you here in just a moment, but that money was to expand the mental health treatment and support programs for veterans and their families. We've also responded to the concerns of our veterans struggling with delayed responses from the VA. We created a claims processing team within the Texas Veterans Commission that's helping to clear that backlog of claims submitted by Texas vets. These efforts are worth our time. They're worth our energy. They're worth the resources that we put in place here because our fighting men and women made our freedom what it is today. I want to say a special thanks to the dedicated men and women of the Texas Veterans Commission.
Thank you.
Especially members of the Fund Advisory Committee headed up by Brigadier General Tom Gene Smith. General, I'm going to ask you to say a few words. Sure. As the chairman of our Veterans Commission, Karen has done a really great job in carrying on her service to our country and to her fellow vets as well. So with that, let me introduce the chairman of our Texas Veterans Commission, Brigadier General Karen Rankin.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I don't think there's anybody here that doesn't know about the Texas Veterans Commission. Our job is to be an advocate for the vets, to help them in finding jobs and filing claims, and oh, by the way, helping them get the right education by going to the right universities. We could not do this if it were not for the wonderful assistance, monetary and support. Monetary is no small thing, to be able to do these programs. And the creation of the lottery and this first grant that's going to be awarded is a major thing. Governor Perry doing it, help from the legislature, and our job is just to make sure that this works right, that we get the right people getting out and getting this money across the state to our many veterans. Thank you, sir.
Karen, thank you very much. Mike, I'll tell you what, you and I'll just kind of step out here in the front. So
where would you like me to go? Over here?
Yeah, right over here is fine. So let me just say on behalf of the people of the state of Texas, it gives me quite an honor to be able to present a pretty substantial check to stick that over on the easel, and it's all yours. Not every day you get a check from me.
Thank you very much, Governor Perry. To our quartermaster, Adjutant Quartermaster Roy Grona, make sure that goes in the bank today. I think we're already starting to process some applications coming in. We, the Texas Veterans of Foreign Wars, Department of Texas, we are so pleased, honored to accept this first grant based on recommendation of the Texas Veterans Commission, but from the fund established by our hard work. One of my counterparts is in the audience today, the State Commander for the American Legion. Where are you at? Don? Behind you. Don? Yeah, there we go. Okay. You know, this took a concerted effort, and we can go back 4 years, let there be no doubt, at least 4 years, when we had to thought the idea. I know the governor did too. Let's create a fund, a state fund, to help those needy veterans across the state. Well, you know the squeaky wheel, and it got squeaky there for a couple years. But the fund was established 2.5 years ago. Unfortunately, no monies were appropriated to put in the fund. We kind of stepped forward, we, the Veterans of Foreign Wars, our Texas VFW Foundation, and made an initial $10,000 donation to that fund to keep it active, to keep it on the books. How do we get the money? Where's the money coming from? The idea come up about the scratch-off ticket, the Veterans Cash, and through some hard work, and I got to recognize John Maturko, a Veterans Liaison for a whole bunch of veterans organizations across the state. His hard work, our own Texas VFW legislative people, John Spar behind me, Ken Burton over here, who is the executive director of our Texas VFW Foundation. Emails were sent, phone calls were made, and in the 11th hour, the scratch-off ticket passed. Funding was established. And that's why I can look back and say to you today, oh, we're so pleased to receive this first grant, and we're certainly honored. For the last 10 years, we, the VFW, have had in place, under our National Military Service Program, the checks and balances. We have been giving out grants ourselves through our own fundraising efforts for the last 10 or 11 years. We know how to check on the need, verify. So, Governor, I've got to say, your money, the money raised is in good hands. We know that the bean counters will be down weekly checking on us. Where'd this money go? And we're up to the challenge. And this money is going to benefit potentially 1.7 million veterans across this state. This is not just for VFW members. It's for the veterans across this state. I want to make that perfectly clear. So once again, Governor, Representative Turner, I know you played a major role in the passage of this legislation. And the Governor, I'd just like to kind of present you a little token of our appreciation, your support for veterans daily. The legislation you've passed over the last several years are 100% property tax. What a win-win situation that was. Beefing up with the VA, putting some additional folks in there to help the backlog. Governor Perry, the right thing to do. We appreciate it. And on behalf of that and Veterans of Foreign Wars, I'd like to present this little token of our appreciation. Thank you.